Does, Fawns, and Coyotes, Part 1, El Morro Elfin Forest, 2023. This is the story of two does and their new fawns sharing an Elfin Forest game trail with coyotes. A doe sniffs the camera and walks away. It is the beginning of July. And we understand she is introducing us to her twin fawns, born probably a few weeks before. On July 5th, two coyotes come down the game trail. We notice one of them has a limp. The doe and the two fawns come and go for the balance of July. At the end of July, and the injured doe also comes down the game trail. And we see she has brought her new fawn. It is a single fawn, which is typical of a first-year mother. This is the doe that herself was a fawn only 2 years ago. We see her browsing right in the middle of the trail. And of course, we ask ourselves, where's the fawn? There's the fawn, just following mother very closely. The two browse peacefully in the trail for quite some time. That night, a skunk comes down the trail. Followed by the two coyotes. A couple of days later, the doe is looking around but doesn't seem too concerned about coyotes. It is already August. Has she brought the fawn? There's the fawn. The next question, has the fawn grown at all? Well, it looks like the fawn is getting a good meal. Until the mother deer decides that's enough. And we see the fawn has learned to browse on her own. Two nights later, the doe with the twins is back on the trail. And within minutes, they are followed by a coyote. At dawn, the camera under the trees is using black and white video. The camera in the open has enough light to use color video. Here's the coyote in the open. And shortly after, the deer, not seemingly concerned with the coyote, are also in the open. The deer go from the open back under the trees. And back out into the open where we see them in living color. That night, the injured doe returns with her fawn. A few days later, the doe is browsing on the trail. And her fawn joins her. That night, the coyotes return. The fawn sprints into the clearing the next morning or afternoon, and we notice that the fawn's leg is badly broken. The fawn immediately comes to the mother and nurses. Two days later, we see a deer right in front of the camera. Which one is it? It's the doe with the injured leg and the fawn with the broken leg. And we will end part one with the two of them contentedly browsing. In part two, we'll see what becomes of the injured fawn, the doe and twins, and the coyotes. End of part one. Does, Fawns, and Coyotes, Elfin Forest